Valentine's Day, when flower shops and candy makers enjoy peak profit margins, and teddy bears that say, "I love you very much," are sold. But what started the trend of men getting in trouble for not lavishing the apples of their eye with materialistic shows of affection, like dyeing flora and fattening tooth-rotting confectionaries? St. Valentine's Day was an attempt by the early Catholic Church to deter the pagan fertility rituals of Roman Lupercalia by hijacking the holy day and rebranding it. Lupercalia is named for the Roman god Lupercus, who is sometimes equated with the Arcadian god Pan, a horned god, and worshipped by shepherds to ward their flocks from wolves. The name Lupercus is derived from lupus, meaning wolf, and is often associated with the she-wolf who nursed the twins Romulus and Remus. Romulus is also honored during the festival. But if you've been following my other presentations, then you may already have equated Pan with the other horned gods who brought about the caricaturization of Satan or Baphomet. So, in a roundabout sense, this is yet another satanic holiday or holy day, though the Church of Satan and related pagan cults have already celebrated a satanic magic ritual, a Black Sabbath, on February 2nd. But in all likelihood, Satanists don't pass up a chance to observe a pagan holiday, if not just laugh at all the Christians that do, aside from everyone else's ignorance. At this point, though, it's largely just a consumerist holiday meant to drive the economy and shows that the church and state still dominate people's lives, when appreciation could be shown on any given day of the year. The mystery pagan priesthoods dictate the holidays and the populace abides. Sheeple do as they're told. I'm mainly just illustrating the connection of Lupercalia and Valentine's Day with the generic horned god of the astrological ages of Aries and Taurus that keeps coming up repeatedly in my presentations. So I'll skip detailing the sadomasochistic practices or drunken licentious revelry of Lupercalia itself, a festival not far removed from the orgiastic Saturnalia or winter solstice fertility rites. The transition from Lupercalia to Valentine's Day happened when Emperor Claudius II executed two men, both named Valentine, on February 14th of different years in the 3rd century AD. Their martyrdom was honored by the Catholic Church with the celebration of St. Valentine's Day. Later, in the 5th century, Pope Gelasius I combined St. Valentine's Day with Lupercalia, hoping to discourage the pagan rituals. Chaucer and Shakespeare romanticized it in their work, and observing the holiday became increasingly popular in Europe and eventually America in the 19th century. By 1913, Hallmark cards began mass producing and promoting Valentines, while candy makers capitalized on the trend and the heart symbol became synonymous with the holiday. The heart symbol, which clearly doesn't look like a human heart, most likely also comes from ancient Rome. The Romans used the seed of the silphium plant as a contraceptive, so much so that the plant is now extinct, and its seed pod, shown in the Cyrene coins at the top, has a shape obviously similar to the heart symbol. Other theories of the symbol's origin include two hearts fused together in love, like that shown at the top left, as well as certain female or even male body parts. Some believe it represents the heart-shaped tush or even testes when inverted, while it more likely would represent the vesica piscis if not the silphium seed pod. Sorry if the images are a little blunt for some, but these are some of the theories behind the symbol. By the way, the Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary Magdalene are subtly referencing the Merovingian Holy Grail bloodline, and part of why Jesus is often depicted in a mandorla, a vesica piscis, in Christian art. Examples coming up. The arrow through the heart symbol is, as most are aware, from Cupid's bow, as Roman gods of love, lust, and fertility were also generally included. The festival wasn't only observed by shepherds to honor Lupercus or Pan. But the arrow represents a shot from Cupid's other bow, as he was well known to impregnate quite a few damsels and demigoddesses. Cupid is also known as Eros in ancient Greece, source of the word erotic. Anyone familiar with the biblical cherubs knows that Cupid Eros isn't a cherub, and cherubs aren't baby angels. Cupid was the lustful son of the love goddess Venus and the winged messenger of the gods Mercury, whose other son is also the source of the term hermaphrodite, Hermes Aphrodite. And relative to the occult aspects of the transagenda and pandrogyny, I've shown in other material, the joining of the divine masculine and feminine as one. This is the symbolism of what's known as the divine or sacred feminine figure. As you can see from this montage of occult and pagan fertility symbolism, the sun and Vesica Piscis form the seed and flower of life. Sun rays and phalluses are represented by an obelisk, as with George Washington's monument. In my Paleotech video, I explained the relationship of the mandala and flower of life on the Magdala stone, representing Mary Magdalene, while also tying together the amygdala, also known as almond's horn, which is almond-shaped. The one word I missed when making Paleotech, though, was mandorla, an Italian word for almond, which is the Vesica Piscis often seen behind Jesus in Christian art, or forming the Jesus fish, as well as so many other places. All of these things parallel into prehistory and the origin of language, even the Alpha, Omega, and Ouroboros that I showed in Paleotech. Aside from almonds and silphium seeds, avocados and eggs have long been fertility symbols dating back to ancient cultures like Egypt and Babylon. Most notably the Orphic egg with the Ouroboros. We might even infer the heart symbol to be two eggs or even avocados, one overlaying the other at an angle. The Hindu/Buddhist word mudra can also be construed as relative in origin, particularly with the yoni mudra. The yin-yang also represents a male-female balance as well as energies, and configured differently might even form a heart shape. It's been done. You can see that the mandorla is used in Islam, the pagan tarot, the logo for Aleister Crowley's Order of Oriental Templars, and even Judaism, Kabbalism really, representing the Shekinah, or Shekinah, meaning vagina. It's also what the Freemason compass and square subtly implies, even with the G-spot. Though rather than calling the Gnostic with a big G goddess, Sophia or Venus, also known as Lucifer, she's known as Isis to Masons. The symbolism is even incorporated with the seed of life on the so-called international flag of planet Earth at bottom right, while most would never have a clue what the symbolism really means. It's an awful big coincidence that the Hourglass Nebula has an eye inside the mandorla. I'm sure many are thinking it's yet another one of NASA's photoshopped images, and why not when they still haven't produced a consistent image of Earth that wasn't admittedly fabricated. But that's not what this presentation is about. By the way, I got that image of the menorah Hexica Piscis at the bottom off the back of someone's car in a parking lot just a day before creating this montage. Clearly that's what it means. So to put all these concepts together, mandorla, mandala, Magdala, amygdala, Magdalene, even almond and almond are interrelated, while this all has a direct relationship to the ancient horned gods of fertility worship and how the term horny was invented. In the case of Lupercalia, Pan is the horny fertility god. And since Rome is where this holy day originated, it's only fitting to show this lovely heart from St. Peter's Basilica, home of many basilisks or dragons. The word Vatican does translate to divining serpent, which most assume is that old dragon of the Bible, Satan. But in ancient Samaria, Tiamat was the dragon goddess of chaos. So we shouldn't assume that the dragon is a male, actually. It's more likely a dragon queen producing eggs like a bee or the alien hive mother. The occult god is actually first and foremost a goddess, not a male figure named Satan, actually. As we pan out from the image of the womb basilisk of the basilica, we can see the crossed keys representing the gold and silver gates of heaven, as well as the Barberini bee symbolism. The Masonic, Illuminati, Rosicrucian, etc. queen bee is an important symbol dating back to Egypt, the efficient hive mentality ruled by the goddess. I talked about the hive mother goddess in my videos about AI and Android Sophia also. A part of the point of this video, aside from the origin of Valentine's Day and the heart symbol, is that we're seeing more and more of the occult hierarchical pagan goddess worship being externalized in the mainstream, if subtly. It's the same basic belief system that promoted Babylonian temple prostitution, the whore of Babylon, and the Jezebel spirit that the Hebrews constantly fought against in the Bible. Goddess worship is central to paganism and even the nature worship of Satanism. The mainstream has been tricked into believing the opposite. In the mystery priesthoods, the egg always comes before the chicken, even though it takes two to copulate, which is what this holy day is supposed to be about. But if people can't see the trans agenda of pandrogyny at work, then they're pretty well blinded by indoctrination. It won't be long before people are buying themselves a Valentine's Day present or running themselves a bath full of roses. Believe it or don't.
Which come first, the chicken or the egg? Which come first, the chicken or the egg? How could something so fat and furry come from something so smooth and pearly? Which come first, the chicken or the egg?